Hello and welcome. This is Makbul Khan. I'm going to show you how to harness the power of Google's Gemini LLM models in your application. As a former director of engineering and tech founder, I have seen firsthand how generative AI is transforming what's possible in the software development world. Let's get started by setting up our environment. I'm going to be using here Jupyter Notebook with VS Code. You guys can use even Google Colab, which works pretty well. The first step is going to be installing the required libraries. And for that, I'm going to install, upgrade, pip. And then next is going to be pip install u q Google GenAI 1.7.0 version of the library we're going to install, and then pip install Google Core APIs. The next is we need to import few modules. That is Google import GenAI. From Google GenAI, we're going to import types. And from IPython, because I'm using Jupyter Notebook, I'm going to use an import display as well as Markdown. And finally, from Google API Core, I'm going to import retry. And then I'm going to set up our retry logic to handle API errors. And let me create the variable retriable lambda. It is going to be instance of GenAI dot errors dot API error and e dot code in 429 and 503. All right. And then GenAI dot models dot model dot generate content is equal to retry dot retry predicate is retriable, and then we're all set. So hopefully this should work, and let me try and run this code. Let's see how it goes. Okay, requirements already satisfied. All looks pretty good. Perfect. All right. Okay, the next step is setting up the authentication, and I'm going to configure here our Google API. If you don't know how to get the Google API, you can go into the Google AI Studio and you will find the CTA on the top right corner. Click on generate the API key and get one. So let me start with that. Set up Google API key. Google API key. Let me grab my key here. All right, so we are all set with that. Third step, we are almost there now to invoke our first API call. And that's going to be exciting. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating the client, which will help us invoke the API, and we will collect the response client.models.generate content. And here, understand, we need to choose which model we're going to be using and what is going to be the content. The content is exactly your prompt. So here I'm going to be using model, which is Gemini -2.0 flash. Just want to make sure. Yes, and the content is going to be explain the concept of neural networks in simple terms. That looks pretty good. And we will add this here. And we want to display the response here. And we're going to be using display markdown response dot text. Perfect. So let's try and run our first API call and let's see how it goes. Bingo, we got it done. Cool. Let me just do a little bit of play around with this. And I'm going to say, explain the concept of neural network in 3 sentences. And let's see how it goes. There we go. We have a very short response of very short explanation of what neural network is. Cool. Now we have done one of API calls, but as we've been using ChatGPT, Claude, these are all chatbots and AI assistants. Now, what we want to do is we want to create our own chatbot or AI assistant, and that basically takes care of the context as well. So let's start working and creating our first chat assistant here. For that, we're going to again instantiate and create an object, and that'll be chat.create, and we will specify which model we're going to be using, which is again Gemini 2.0 flash, and that's it. Now we want to send a message to the chat, and for that we will use the chat.sendMessage, and we're gonna say, you are an AI assistant to help build SaaS products and design scalable APIs. Next one, we're going to have the conversation with our chatbot, and for that we're going to collect the response as well, and we're going to send out a message. What is the best practice for, okay, I don't like this question, let me ask another question. Explain me the HTTP methods in simple terms. Explain me REST API HTTP methods in simple terms. All right. And again, we want to display the response here in the markdown, and let's see how it goes. Excellent. So I got get, post, put, patch, delete, pretty much everything. And interestingly, very nicely, it has summarized as well. So far so good. And next we are on to building our real sentiment analysis tool. So I'm going to create a function, analyze sentiment, and review text is going to be my variable, which I'm going to use to collect all the sentiments or the reviews. And then let me instantiate sentiment analyzer client.chats.create. I'm going to be using the same model again, Gemini 2.0 Flash. And I don't want to send the message right now here, but let me now set up the analyzer with instructions. And for that sentiment analyzer, that's perfect. Excellent. It has done my job. All right. Now I'm going to send out the reviews and collect the response. So for that, we need to send a message, and here we have the message as well. Analyze the sentiment of this review text. Cool. And that takes care of our function. We're going to return the response here, and all set for that. Let me create some synthetic data, and for that I'm going to create customer reviews is equal to, let me just grab the review here to make our life easier. All right, and now I'm going to review to display markdown. That looks cool. And I want to add a separator. That looks pretty cool. All right, so let's see. Let's try to hit the run button and see how it goes. Super, we have got something. Excellent. So the review was, product is amazing, easy to use, solved my problem right away with it came in more colors though. Wish it came in more colors though. So the sentiment analysis says, okay, here is my sentiment analysis. And overall it was positive. It also identified the aspects of the sentiment, which is usability, effectiveness, and aesthetic. And the intensity was the positive intensity. Positive sentiment is strong, while the negative sentiment is weak. So that's pretty good. We have another review, frustrating experience. The app crashed twice and customer service took forever to respond, not worth the price. And we could see it's negative. So in just a few minutes, what we have learned is we were able to set up the environment. We were also able to do the error handling, and we did make basic query, and followed by that we created the chatbot, the real chatbot assistant, and we just covered up and created the practical sentiment analysis tool. So with that, I'm going to wrap up, and next up I'm going to cover up a few additional problems around how to deal with temperatures, how to do different types of prompting like zero-shot prompting, one-shot prompting, few-shot prompting. So stay tuned. Let's continue to learn together. Thank you.